Hi everybody, this is Dan Stolbarger. Welcome to this week's KFIR Middle East Update. It's the week of December 4th. We'll look back on this last week, and just a reminder, make sure you grab the PDF PowerPoint which accompanies this presentation, and it should be a link on your YouTube page here, or go to our website at holygroundexploration.com. Let's take a look at what's transpired this week. We'll begin with Biden. Biden's been able to work in the past with Bibi, but one high U.S. official, speaking on the conditions of anonymity, said there's no doubt that we're about to enter into an era that for Joe Biden, that is, will be much more challenging than ever before. These are our news bites, by the way, just clips of events that have taken in the last week. We all know about Trump's dinner with Kanye West and a white nationalist, and Mike Pence goes on record simply to say Trump was wrong to give a white nationalist and an anti-Semite Holocaust denier a seat at the table. And Pence goes on to say he believes that Trump needs to apologize. And so far, Trump has refused to condemn the views of either of these visitors, of great concern to evangelicals, no doubt. 300, the rise in terrorist attacks in Israel is now 300%, leaving some wondering, have we entered into what will be referred to as the third Intifada? And then, if it wasn't enough of what Kanye West has done, the latest is a YouTube, a TikTok, or a video of him praising Hitler, and once again going into an anti-Semitic rage, praising Adolf Hitler. The Palestinian Islamic Jihad, the PIJ, has put out a threat to take the life of Ben Gvir. We've talked a lot about the rise of Ben Gvir, extreme right, and has a prominent place now in the Netanyahu government. So threats on his life. And then one of the MKs, Avi Maaz, because as Bibi continues to form his coalition government, we're seeing the results of the widespread voting of support for the right. And so one of the MKs has come out just to say he wants to put a stop to the gay pride parade in Jerusalem. And so that's got a lot of the LGBT proponents and supporters up in arms, and we'll see how Bibi handles all of this. And finally, it looks as if this is now certain. The Likud and the religious Zionist Party have reached a coalition agreement. They reached that last Thursday evening, which clears the way now for the Netanyahu government, which will now be backed by 64 members of the Knesset. And really, all he needs is 61. So those are our news bites for this week. We'll move on now to our major articles. Again, I can't emphasize enough to make sure you grab that PDF PowerPoint. It'll have photos and much more than what we have time for here. So what are Bibi's top plans? He's working feverishly, as we've talked about, to finalize his government. He's been out of power for 18 months, and now he's back. But his top priority, and he's come out just to verbally say this, to make sure everybody is crystal clear. Netanyahu's top priority is neutralizing the Iranian threat and protecting the state of Israel from annihilation. I cannot overemphasize. I've been reading Bibi's memoirs, his book, and here's a guy that could truly just sail off in the sunset. But there is something that's grinding inside of him that's caused him to be back in power, to pursue this. And that number one objective is going to be dealing with Iran. Make no mistake about it. I'm not a predictor. This is not a prophecy update. But in my gut, I truly believe that over the next month to 2 months, there will be some kind of preemptive strike from Israel towards Iran. Again, his number one priority is to neutralize the nuclear threat. And the question is that when that happens, what will be the fallout? What will take place with Israel's relationship to the U.S., to the Arab world? That's the question. His second priority, by the way, is, in light of all of this, is to forge a peace and again, back to the Abrahamic Accords, a normalization treaty with the Saudis. Again, Sunni, Shiite. Shiite, Iran. Sunni, Saudis. The Shiites and the Saudis, the Shiites and the Sunnis hate one another just about as much as they hate Israel. So this is a peace partner, an economic partner that Bibi wants to see in the fold. We'll see what takes place with that. And then we have this week, the turmoil that's taking place. It's reaching a boiling point. The rise of terrorism, we've already said 300%. The violence, the car rammings, the stabbings. So the UN Special Coordinator for Middle East Peace is warning. He warned last Monday that the Israeli-Palestinian conflicts has reached a boiling point. And, the twin bombings of the buses in Jerusalem, everything that's transpiring, we're hitting that boiling point. I've given you some photos. One of the things that surfaced, as you'll see in that last photo, a Palestinian teenager forcing a Hasidic, an Orthodox Jew, onto his knees to kiss his feet. This is not acceptable. This is just a picture of what's taking place, what will transpire next. And then the UN, again, in Israel, UN is not an abbreviation for United Nations. It's an abbreviation for United Nothings. And this is from Francesca Albanese, UN's special coordinator concerning Palestine, etc. Her comments: Palestinians have no other room for dissent than violence. And this was given 2 days after 2 people were killed in twin bombings, innocent people, bystanders, civilians, killed in twin bombings at a Jerusalem bus stop last week. And this UN human rights investigator has the gall to say, this is the right of the Palestinians. They have no other options other than violence. This coming from the UN? And then when you think it couldn't get any worse, the UN has a vote, 90-30 in favor of what? The UN voted in favor of a resolution that will commemorate the Nabka which means the Nabka day. It means in Arabic the catastrophe. It's the Palestinian day that in 48, when Israel's declared a state, the modern state of Israel's reestablishment in 1948, they circle that date and they say Nabka. It's a catastrophe. It's a disaster. And during that day, massive riots take place. And here the UN is saying, hey, let's make this official. Let's celebrate and commemorate the catastrophe of the state of Israel coming into existence. That's what it's all about. Let that sink in. And when we talk about the rise of anti-Semitism today, I want you to know that it's unparalleled what's taking place. Again, what just happened. Now listen, this is the UN, and this is Palestinian Authority blood libel. Here are the facts. Listen, a Palestinian terrorist attempted to stab an Israeli couple in their car. Got it? Then he stabbed an Israeli soldier in the face. Got it? And then he stabbed and lightly wounded an Israeli officer who then shot and killed him. That's what took place. That's the facts. Now, the Palestinians' presidency issues this statement about the terrorist. He was executed in cold blood, a heinous crime. And then the UN comments on this event. It embraces the UN blood libel. It says this is the comment from the UN. Horrified by today's killing of a Palestinian man during a scuffle, my heartfelt condolences to his bereaved family. Those responsible must be held accountable. Tried to stab an Israeli couple in the car, stabs an Israeli soldier in the face, stabs and lightly wounds a Israeli officer, and that's a scuffle. And then here at home in the U.S., a picture, it often says 1,000 words. This is the Kanye West comments, keep in mind, commenting about Hitler. And again, just here at home in the USA, take a look at the photo. Honk if you know that Kanye's right about the Jews. And then, no doubt, white nationalists expressing the Heil Hitler salute. Right here in the old U.S. Well, on a positive note, if there is such a thing as a positive note this week, we have the U.S. and the Israelis doing an air drill together, largest ever, and it appears to be, and in fact they've come out to say it, they're prepping for a strike on Iran. The IAF, that's the Israeli Air Force, they held one of its largest drills in years with the United States Air Force simulating offensive strikes against Iran's nuclear programs. It took place last Tuesday, lasted through Thursday, over the Med, over Israel. It included long-range flights such as those that Israeli pilots might need to take in order to reach the Islamic Republic. Again, Israel is making it clear. They've significantly increased their readiness to take these steps that throughout the past year they've threatened to be a credible military option against Iran's nuclear facilities. Tensions between Israel and Iran remain high. Iran estimates are that they possess over 1,000 short and medium range ballistic missiles. They continue to smuggle weapons to countries. They're the state sponsor of terrorism, no doubt. And Hezbollah is known to have over 50,000 missiles that are just sitting on the Israeli border. And so, pray for the peace of Jerusalem. And then our last article for this week is, and so it begins last night. Here we go again. Israeli warplanes carried out a retaliatory strike against Hamas in the Gaza Strip. This was early Sunday morning. Rocket alerts were activated near the communities close to Gaza, and Hamas basically began sending rockets. Israel responded, and then Hamas began targeting Israeli jets with anti-aircraft fire and surface-to-air missiles that took place. Not done many times before, and as you can see in the photos, Israel responded with an iron fist. And so this is Sunday afternoon. We're going to have to wait and see where this goes. So that's the week of December 4th as we look back. No doubt this upcoming week we'll probably get the official word that Bibi's government is now totally in place, and we'll see what steps, and I think they're going to be immediate, what steps this government now will take. So if ever there was a time to remember that admonition in the scriptures to pray for the peace of Jerusalem, to remember to pray for leaders of countries, knowing that God is in control. None of this is keeping him up at night. He's not waking up wondering what in the heck's going on. He is in control. But we as the people of God are encouraged and exhorted to pray. Amen. God bless and shalom until next week.